Why are so many foreigners actually leaving China right now? What has changed compared to before? What happened? And how will it be in the future? Let's talk about those in today's video. I'm sure many people have observed or at least heard about the situation in China and what it means for foreigners who are working and living in China. I will share with you from my point of view what are the most important reasons for foreigners leaving China in the moment. I am Mark from Mark's Adventures. I am in Chengdu, China, and welcome everyone to today's video. While most countries in the world have started to get used to and live with the coronavirus, China is still maintaining a very strict approach towards the COVID pandemic. Actually, the city where I live in, where I have my business, Chengdu, is currently, as I'm speaking to you, in a partial lockdown because there have been around 60 COVID infections in the last week. Our business is currently closed, and so are almost all the gyms, swimming pools, many schools, and basically everything that is fun, like bars, KTVs, and so on. And while that is very difficult to imagine for people living in USA or in Europe right now, China has made quite clear that this is not going to change anytime soon. Anyways, compared to many other foreigners, I am still sticking around because I have my business here. I really like it here and I'm not planning to leave anytime soon. But questionings and official data show that since the start of the pandemic, already around 40 to 50% of foreigners in China have left. And another around 25% of foreigners currently still in China are planning to leave within this year. Without doubt, 60 or even more than 70% within a little bit less than 3 years. That's quite a lot. Well, a big part of foreigners has already left when the pandemic started or right after it. And that's for several reasons. Maybe because of visa issues, maybe they just wanted to get home, be with their families, because they were insecure, maybe scared. What is going to happen? Is it going to be safe here? Or simply because they already planned to leave China at that point, or because they were already outside of the country because they were traveling or whatever and weren't able to get back here. Then we had a big wave of foreigners leaving this year, around March and April. That was when the Shanghai lockdown happened. The whole world, and of course also foreigners throughout all China, were looking at Shanghai and seeing what was happening there. For many foreigners, that was the time when they actually decided they have to leave rather sooner than later. And to be honest, I think it's quite understandable. I myself haven't been outside of the country or even been home to visit my family for more than 2.5 years because of quarantine regulations, missing flights, high quarantine hotel prices, and so on. It's very difficult to leave the country and come back right now, which is why most foreigners have been kinda stuck, either outside or inside China. And while COVID probably is the main or most important reason for foreigners leaving, there's also another side to it. Other than COVID, there have been a lot of changes in policies, regulations, and just a general kind of life in China. And I don't want to get too technical or too detailed in here, but there have been a lot of new rules and regulations which make it very difficult for foreigners to stay here, to actually get a legal work permit, to get a visa, or even to find decent work with a good pay. While 10 or even 5 years ago, it was super simple to find decent work with a good payment in China. You could literally lose your job and find a new one overnight as a foreigner in China. But now opportunities are getting less. It's getting more and more difficult to find a decent job with a good pay or even any work at all for foreigners. What a nice day today. Nice weather here in Chengdu. but also the requirements and the process for applying and obtaining a legal work visa, even for business owners like myself, is getting more and more strict, more and more difficult. And while I do understand that China is a rapidly developing and growing country, and there's a need for adjusting your laws, regulations, and policies, but I also know that it's not helping to keep foreigners here. This kind of insecurity. Will I still be legal? Will I still be able to extend my visa? Things like that also push foreigners to leave China right now. And as I said, I'm going to stick around for a little longer. I'm not planning to leave, but also I do understand that this mixture of not being able to go home, see your family, travel, the constant threat of COVID lockdowns in any city inside the country, and paired with the difficult working situation and the regulatory changes that are taking place right now, I can understand that many foreigners are considering or have already decided to leave China and maybe go to another place, maybe go home for now, maybe wait for things to become better in China or go back to normal. I think this is what most foreigners in China are thinking about, are worrying about all the time. While we can only hope that things are going to get better, starting to improve very soon in China, it's very difficult to do any prediction right now. It's quite difficult to assess and say in which direction the whole COVID situation here will go, in which direction all the regulatory problems will go. But yeah, we'll just have to see. Now, I want to know, what about you guys? I'm sure some of you watching this video do have this experience. Some of you have lived or are even still living in China or have left recently. Do you guys feel the same way? Do you also agree that life in China has just changed a lot? And how do you think it will be 1 or 2 years from now? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more interesting videos from China and from the rest of the world. That wraps up today's video. Thank you for watching and see y'all in the next video.